Now, this came out in 1996. The Game Boy came out in 1986? No. The Game Boy, the original DMG Game Boy, like the original Game Boy, that came out in 89. And that kind of went for a while. Sold very well, popularized a lot of classics like Tetris, that we know and love. But essentially, the Game Boy Pocket is just a revised Game Boy. It's a Game Boy. It's an original Game Boy, but it's revised. It's pretty much the same thing, but the actual unit is smaller. The screen is bigger simultaneously. So a smaller system, but the screen is bigger itself. The screen is less green and more grayish, which in my opinion looks a little bit better for some of these games. And it's nice and colorful, and it has less batteries. Less battery usage. Instead of taking 4 AA's, it takes 2 AA's, which are a lot smaller. And overall, it's going to save you some money in the long run. I think this is a very, very, very nifty item. It's pretty small, honestly. It's smaller than my hand, Relatively tiny unit. Still relatively affordable like the Game Boy was back in the day. And yeah, I think it was definitely, it's kind of like the DS to the DS Lite. It wasn't, absolutely necessary, but it was nice. It was something that was appreciated, and quite frankly, yeah, I think it kind of needed it. I think it kind of needed it because, I'm gonna go grab my Game Boy real quick to show you. The size difference is a little crazy in my opinion. It's a lot smaller, and honestly, on top of the screen looking a little better in my honest opinion, it's bigger. And on top of that, it's going to draw less batteries. And also, this thing kind of looks like it's from the 80s. This thing looks like a proper, 90s machine. Because it's true. This one is from 89, and this one is from 96. But yeah, it takes a lot of batteries. One argument that I hear is that for an older person, the Game Boy is more comfortable because, bigger hands. So it's going to be a little more comfortable to play these games. And that's a fair argument, absolutely. But at the same time, the bigger screen. And it's fine. It works just fine. Oh, and the huge one for me is that this thing's properly, it's called the Game Boy Pocket because they're like, this thing does fit in your pocket, but it's pretty big. It's kind of like a big beast, you know what I mean? This thing, though, this thing fits in your pocket. This is probably the size of a phone, I would say. Yeah, I would say this is the size of like a modern day smartphone. So yeah, it definitely fits in your pocket, and I like that. I also have in my artillery, I have a total of 3 in my collection, and this is the red one, well obviously, translucent, and then this is the blue. I don't know the actual, release names of these colors, but yeah, I've got a total of 3. Well, enough of my yapping. I think I should show the viewer what the big difference is between the Pocket and the Game Boy. So we've got the 2 units right here, and I think what I'm going to do is kind of just flick them both on at the same time so the viewer can kind of understand what I'm talking about. The picture is not bad on the game. Well, actually, by today's standards, it's a bit bad. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, let me do a little adjustment. But yeah, a lot less green with it. Let me turn this down. I just listen to this actually. Original Pokemon. Let's turn the volume down a little bit. Because I kind of want to talk and I cannot focus. But yeah, looking at these, you've got a lot more gray on the right. It's just a cleaner display. It's really just a cleaner display, I would say. Still not backlit, because at the time for a screen to be backlit, it would require a lot of, it would be a more expensive unit. So to preserve the what's the word? Oh no, I'm blanking. To preserve the affordableness, the affordability of the Game Boy, they had to maintain the the non-backlit screen, and that's fine. Still a great system. But yeah, I want to get this one out of the way. Kind of dive into the gameplay on this one. Show you my save file on Pokemon really briefly, and then I'm going to show a couple other games really quick. What's the team looking like? Let's take a look. Got Alakazam. You got Raichu, Snorlax, Blastoise, Nidoking, and Flareon. Not bad. I don't have a Pokemon that can use Fly now that I'm thinking about it. Ah, shit. I probably should get one of those. Let's do a little wild encounter while we're here. Oh, yeah. Pidgey? Oh, Pidgey, you're getting cooked. You are getting cooked, Pidgey. To any of you wanting to play through Gen 1, I mean, it still works. Still a fine game, but I'm going to be honest. I would say pretty much all of the Pokemon games that they've released after this, I would say, are probably a bit more enjoyable. And I'm sorry to say that to the Gen 1 enthusiasts, because it is definitely the most simplistic one out of the bunch. Pretty simplistic game. Still not bad. It's revolutionary. It did so much for the, video game history, the market, and the legacy. I think it did so much. But me personally, if I'm going to play some Pokemon, I would say, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, maybe some Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White 2. Honestly, even like X and Y. X and Y is not perfect, but I like it. I like X and Y. You can go to X and Y. Some of the newer stuff is good. It's just the newest Pokemon games are so inconsistent in quality. So I'm just kind of like, whatever. But, yeah. While we're here, might as well show another game. This is the original Kirby. Oh, volume's still off. It's this one. This is a classic. This is a very simple game. It's straight to the point, I would say. You can beat this game. I'm pretty sure you can beat this game in like an hour, which is pretty fun. The whole game you can beat in like an hour. Maybe I should make a video where I just play through all of Kirby's Dream Land, and that's just a video. Like a full-on Let's Play. That could be pretty fun. We could do that. If I remember that I said this, we'll do it. But I might not remember. That's the problem. Ooh, let's get that. I will say, when the, in a game the characters are moving, a lot of the pixels, a lot of the sprites get a tad bit blurry looking. I think that's a problem with the original Game Boy as well. That problem is absolutely not apparent on the Advance SP. It's mostly not apparent, to me at least, to my eye. But yeah, it gets a little bit blurry as things are moving very fast. This guy's an ass. This guy's an asshole. Oh yeah, interestingly enough about the original Kirby is the copy abilities with like eating the enemies and taking their power. That was not in this one. It didn't exist. They didn't introduce that until Adventure on the NES, which was the second Kirby game. That came out in '93. Oh, this one came out in '92. Yeah, it came out in '93 on the NES. That's crazy to me. It's a great game though. I really like that game. That's actually so call me crazy. I will acknowledge that Adventure is not the best Kirby game, but it's good, and it's actually my favorite one. I really like Adventure. Adventure's great. But the best Kirby game, I'd have to give that one to probably Superstar or like Robobot. Robobot was awesome. Robobot was awesome. I really like that. Cool stuff going on in Robobot. But nah, Adventure's great. I really like Adventure. Shoot. Whoa. Oh yeah, we're fighting the tree. This asshole. Classic video game boss right here. The tree. Wispy, what's his name? Wispy Woods, I think? Ah, shit, I can't remember his name. I thought it was Wispy Woods or something, but I just kind of call him the tree because I don't want to mess it up. That was a very, very difficult boss fight. No, I'm kidding. Pretty easy. Oh, I love that. All right. Well, I got nothing else to say. That was the, man, that's the Game Boy Pocket. If they're pretty collectible, they're not expensive though, but I think they're collectible because there's like, they made like a million different colors of them, and they're not super expensive these days, especially compared to a lot of other machines that you can find on eBay. But if you are a certified Game Boy fan, I would give the Game Boy Pocket a look for many reasons. But it's a pretty good system. I would buy one. Well, I already do have one. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Goodbye.